Welcome, dear students. Now we are going to start with the unit 2, that is the basic of atmospheric science. The Earth's atmosphere is divided into layers, which are based on the changes in the temperature as the altitude increases. Now we all know there are the Earth layer or the atmosphere. It is being divided into uh, four layers, that is troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, and the thermosphere. Now here in the troposphere, it extends up to 0 to 12 kilometer and the temperature decreases with the altitude, that is approximately 6.5 degree Celsius per kilometer. Weather phenomena occurs here in the troposphere. Next is the stratosphere. This particular sphere, it extends from 12 kilometer to 50 kilometer and the temperature increases with the altitude due to the absorption of UV radiations by the ozone layer. Third, that is the mesosphere. It starts from 50 kilometer to 85 kilometers, that is 50 to 85. This is the range for the mesosphere. And here the temperature decreases with the altitude. The last, that is the thermosphere, it extends from 85 to 600 kilometers. And here the temperature increases with the altitude due to the absorption of highly energetic solar radiations. Now, these are the four layers of the atmosphere depending upon the temperature. Now, the next, that is the photochemical reactions in the atmosphere. The photochemical reaction occurs here. The photochemical reaction occurs when the sunlight reacts with chemicals in the atmosphere, leading to the formation of the new compounds. Now, there are the mechanism and the importance of this photochemical reaction. Here in the mechanism, the sunlight breaks down into nitrogen dioxide and nitric oxide, that is NO, and a free oxygen atom. The free oxygen atom reacts with oxygen, that is O2, to form the ozone. This is the typical reaction which is for the ozone formation reaction. Now, what is the importance of this? That is, these reactions are crucial in the formation of both ozone layer in the stratosphere. It is the protective nature. It gives a protection towards the earth, and the photochemical smog in the troposphere, which is again a harmful reaction. Now, what happened? The next one. It is the next one. That is the temperature inversion and the lapse rate. Now, what happened? Temperature inversion is what? There are the two images are given, that is the normal condition and the temperature inversion. Now, here in the temperature inversion, it occurs when the normal temperature gradient is reversed, meaning that the temperature increases with altitude instead of decreasing. Here the two main diagrams are given, or it is being shown by these images. This typical two images give you the idea about the temperature inversion. The first figure gives you the normal condition, whereas the second gives you the temperature inversion and how it is occurred due to the pollution which is man-made. Okay, so these are the definitions. What is the lapse rate? Again, the lapse rate at the rate at which the temperature decreases with an increase in altitude. This takes place near about 6.5 degrees Celsius per kilometer in the troposphere. Now, what is the, again, I have from the diagram, we can say the temperature inversion. A layer of warmer air traps cooler air near the surface, preventing vertical mixing. And due to that, this particular phenomena of temperature inversion occurs in the cities where the temperature inversion can trap the pollutants, leading to the smoke buildup. So this is the main condition with the cities. Okay. So because cities, there are the more number of pollution is there. So this phenomena is occurs during mainly in the cities. Now, the next topic that we are going to study is the smoke formation and the type of smog. What is smog? Smog is a type of air pollution caused by the interaction of sunlight with industrial and the vehicular emissions. This particular is due to, again, it is particular due to the vehicles exhaust. So these particular smog, this type of smog are of two types. First is the sulfur smog and the second one is photochemical smog. As there are the two images which are showing you the exact idea about the smog. So as it increases, and the main cause that we can see this phenomena again in the cities more than the village place, because more pollution is there in the cities only. Okay. So this photochemical smog, that is also called as a Los Angeles type smog, and the sulfur smog, it is also called as the London type of smog. Now in this sulfur smog or the London type of smog, it is caused due to the high concentration of sulfur acid from the burning coal, and it occurs in cold and the damp climate. Now, the examples, it may be called as this London smog of 1952 was due to the winter split burning of the coal. Is the burning of the coal, it is actually due to that the sulfur smog is happened. Now, in the photochemical smog, it is formed when the sunlight reacts with the nitrogen oxide, that is NOx, and volatile organic compounds, that is VOCX, from the vehicle emission. It occurs in the warm and sunny climate. Now, here the example can be photochemical smog. It is common in the cities like Los Angeles due to the heavy traffic and the sunlight. Now, the next topic that we are going to study in this is the adverse effect of the smog on the human being and the aerosols. Now, what are the adverse effects? As the diagram is showing, we can easily see the adverse effect, that is again the adverse health effect or due to the air pollution or the smog. It is also called as the respiratory tract itching, headache, coughing. Pneumonia means it is actually asthma type of attack is there. Skin irritation is the main. Then the central nervous system diseases. These are the long time effects, that is central nervous system diseases, cardiovascular disease, respiratory disease, impact on the liver, impact on the impact on the reproductive system also is seen there. So these are the long term and the short term effects of the air pollution. The main is the eye irritation, respiratory issues. So these are the chronic exposure due to the smog and this type of pollution. We can see in the Delhi, in India. The Delhi is the most populated area where we see the air pollution is more than the other cities in the India. So the next that we are going to see is the aerosols. What are aerosols? Aerosols are the tiny solid or the liquid particles suspended in the atmosphere. It's called as the aerosols. And what are the sources of that? They can be natural source of these dust and the sea salt. Next is the anthropogenic, that means vehicle emission or the industrial pollution. Now, what are the effects? Effects are, it can be reflected, aerosols can be effects or can be reflected by the sunlight, affecting climate and act as a nuclear for the cloud formation. So these are the main effects of the aerosols which are present in the atmosphere. Now, these are the sources, that is sea salt, forest fiber, the fires which are in the forest, that is the forest fires, mineral soil dust, volcanic eruption. So these are the main, it is divided into natural and anthropogenic. Just I have told you about the sources of aerosols, natural and anthropogenic. Now these are the effects, that is chronic effect and the acute effect, synergic or due to air pollution, adverse effect pollution. So these are the main effects that are caused due to the aerosols. So these are some diagrams which are explaining this causes of the aerosols, how this effect on the human being. It is a type of air pollution. Now the next interesting topic that we are going to learn in this unit, it is the greenhouse, relative contribution, and the effect of the greenhouse gases or the effect. Now we all know what is the greenhouse. Greenhouse effect is refer to the process by which the certain gases in the Earth's atmosphere trap heat from the sun, warming the planet. This process is natural and essential for life, but human activities have enhanced this effect, leading to the global warming. So, this is again an important topic that we must discuss in the environmental science. Now, these are some examples of the greenhouse effect or the greenhouse gases. We can call the gases which causes the greenhouse effect or the warming or the global warming. It is also called as the greenhouse gases. They are mainly methane, NO2, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, ozone, and the water vapors, that is H2O, and the chlorofluorocarbons, that is CFCs. So these are the main, and again the SOx. So these are the main gases which are responsible for the greenhouse effect. So this is the composition, relative composition of the gases which are present in the atmosphere, which causes the global warming. Now, the carbon monoxide, the most significant gas contributing to the greenhouse effect, rises from the burning of fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial activity. Next is the methane. That is the more, it is the potent gas effect, that is the CO2. It is actually obtained from the CO2, but it is less abundant. It is actually obtained from the agriculture waste and the landfills, the methane. Now the next is NOx. It is obtained from the agriculture fertilizers and industrial process. The CFCs, the main cause of CFCs are the refrigerations and the ACs that we are burning, the ACs that we are utilizing during the hotter days, or the we can call this in the summer days. Now these are the main causes of the ozone depletion. Now, the next that we are going to talk about the effects of the greenhouse effect. As here there are I have mentioned some greenhouse effects. Here I have mentioned, that is the global warming, melting polar ice, ocean acidification, and the extreme weather conditions. So these are the some of the important effects due to the greenhouse gas or the global warming effect. Now here, as it increases, there are a number of various greenhouse effect that's we can also listed here. So the next topic is the control of the control of the greenhouse effect or the global warming. Now the renewable energy, so we can use the non-conventional, the conventional or the renewable energy sources, that is solar, wind, hydropower. So these are the main sources that are naturally obtained, that we should use rather than the electricity generated by by the coal or by the water. So those sources we are going to extend, means that is coal, but the solar and wind power are obtained in natural sources. So we should reuse that energy. It is also called as the renewable energy. We can use it every time. Okay, in the circle, or this energy cannot be extended. So we can use it anytime, anywhere, and in the means this amount of energy is available for us. The next is the uh, transport and the building industries. We can use the improvement energy. You can use in the energy efficiency, carbon sequence. Now the next is the capturing and storing of CO2 from the atmosphere in the forest or underground. Nowadays, the CO2 is getting converted into the biofuels or the fuels. This is one of the research is going on. So we should convert this CO2 into the useful form, so that this CO2 is the main cause of greenhouse effect. So it helps us to minimize the global warming. The next is the reducing methane emission. Also, as the CO2, we are going to research how this CO2 is going to um, minimize. The same way we have to reduce this methane gas also, because it improves the waste management and changes into the agriculture practices, because the main cause from where we get the methane is the agriculture. So the next one is the next one is the ozone depletion. As the diagram increases, as the diagram shows that the ozone layer depletion is the decrease in the O3, that is ozone layer. Now, the ozone depletion refers to the thinning of the Earth's ozone layer, primarily in the stratosphere, the caused by the human-made chemicals. The greenhouse effect, it is actually a cause of depletion in the ozone layer. That is the thinning of the ozone layer. The O3, that is the ozone, is formed when the ultraviolet lights strikes oxygen molecules, that is O2, splitting them into individual oxygen atoms. Now, what happens? Then they combines with O2 to form O3. The oxygen atom, it combines with O2. Now, what happened? The chlorofluorocarbons, that is the CFC, which are present in the atmosphere, and the other oxygen depletion substances, that is ODS, release carbon and release chloride and bromine gas. Then they are broke down by the UV lights in the stratosphere, that is the UV radiations obtained from the sun. Now these atoms reacts with the oxygen, breaking it down into the oxygen, that is O2, and the depletion of the ozone layer takes place. Means first what, this ozone layer, here these are the some reactions which are mentioned, and this is due to the ozone layer depletion reactions due to CFCs and the oxygen which is present in the atmosphere. Now the next topic that we are going to study, now the ozone, yes, the next topic that we are going to study is the Dobson unit, that is DU. What is the Dobson unit? Dobson unit is the measure of ozone concentration. One Dobson unit represents a layer of ozone that would be 0.01 mm thick under standard temperature and pressure. And the average ozone concentration is about 300 DU. Okay. Now the next one is the ozone depletion substance, that is ODS, that I have already told you that ODS is the CFCs, halogen and carbon tetrachloride and the methane chloroforms. Now the ozone hole. Ozone hole is what we have all heard about, this ozone layer. It is a significant thinning of the ozone layer over the Antarctica. First discovery is 1980s. It is the most severe during the southern hemisphere's spring, that is in November, that is in September to November, in the month of September and November. Okay. Now the next is the consequences of the ozone depletion. Here are the diagram or the image showing you the consequences of the ozone depletion. Everyone is knowing about this. That is the increase in the UV radiation, damage to the ecosystems and impact on the materials. Now this UV radiations degrades the material like plastics and paints. These are the impact on the materials. Now, this ozone hole over the America has led to the increase in the UV radiation in the southern hemisphere. So, due to this hole, that is the ozone hole or the thinning of that particular area, ozone layer, this particular type of uh, thing, that is the formation or the depletion of ozone layer, we can see in the Antarctica mainly. Now, the next thing that we are going to study is the mitigation measures. Now, what are the mitigation measures? Actually, it refers to the steps taken to reduce or prevent the harmful effects of greenhouse gases and the ozone depletion. Now, the next is the mitigation for the greenhouse effect. That means the reduce or the prevents of the greenhouse gases. So, they are mainly afforestation or the reforestation, the first, that is afforestation, and the reforestation, due to which the CO2, it will be absorbed by the plants to prepare their food. That is the that process is called as the photosynthesis. Next is the transition, carbon capture or the storage, that is CCS, carbon capture or the storage. That is the technology that captures the CO2 emission from the power plants and store them into underground. Or we can, or with the help of some equipments, or with the help of some uh, equipments, or with the some of these events, we can convert this CO2 into the emissions. Now, the next is what? The next is sustainable agriculture, reducing the methane emission from the livestock and using the environmental friendly fertilizers. So these are the sustainable agriculture. So again, the four main mitigation of greenhouse gases are afforestation or reforestation, energy transition, next is the carbon capture or the storage, and the last one is the sustainable agriculture. Now, the next topic that we are going to study is the mitigation of ozone depletion. Mitigation of the ozone depletion is the here in that we are there are 3 points. The first point is phasing out ODS, as we have already studied the ODS. Now, next one is the development of alternatives. For example, hydrofluorocarbons, which do not deplete the ozone layer, and it is the alternative for the CFCs. That means in the refrigerator and ACs, we can use this. Okay. Now, the next one is what? Next one that we are going, the next thing that is the causes the ozone layer depletion is the development of alternatives. Global monitoring, global monitoring. That means what? With the help of satellites and a ground-based station to monitor the ozone levels and track the effectiveness of the international agreements. That means there are the various agreements that are going to take place. So they should be monitored continuously. So this can be done with the help of global monitoring, that is with the help of satellites. So these are the main steps for the mitigation of for the ozone depletion. Here, for example, for example, it is given the Kigali Amendment. This amendment is the Montreal Protocol aimed to phase down the uses of HCFs, which are potent a greenhouse effect but do not deplete the ozone layer. So we have to understand these things. We should use the alternative sources to minimize this ozone depletion layer. Now, the next that we are going to study is the international protocols. So there are some international protocols which are the international agreements or the protocols which are put in the place to combat both ozone depletion and the greenhouse gas emissions, so that we can protect our earth and the global warming also. So there are Montreal Protocol, Kyoto Protocol, Paris Agreement, and the Kigali Amendment. These are the four main protocols and the agreements that we have done, amendment done to protect ozone layer or the greenhouse effect warming and our earth. Now, the next that we are going to study is the acid rain. As we all know, what is the acid rain? Acid rain is nothing but the formation of acids due to the mixing of SOx and NOx, which are present in the ozone or present in the atmosphere. Now, these NOx and SOx are obtained from the industrial waste, or the it is the main cause from the industrial, and also we are using the vehicles and vehicle exhaust. It is mainly consist of SOx and NOx. So they goes up in the cloud and they get combined with the water, and they come down as a precipitation, that is the water, and that water is called as the acid rain. So these are some reactions which are involved in the acid rains. Now, the next one is the effects of acid rain on the ecosystem. We all know there are various effects of acid rain on the ecosystem, that is soil, water bodies, vegetations, and built environment. That is the famous example is the Taj Mahal. And there are various examples that we can study in this acid rain on the ecology. There are some given, and these are the main diagrams, or this is the image which shows the effects of acid rain on the ecosystem. Now, these are the effects of acid rain, and the main problem is how to control this acid rain, because if it plays an important role to disturb this ecosystem, so it should be minimizing, or we should control this acid rain. So it can be controlled. So there are some measures, that is reduction of emission. We should use bicycles to minimize, at least those students which are using the metros and the bicycles, they are helping our nature. They are minimizing our air. They are minimizing our air pollution, and also they are causing less pollution in the environment. The next is the use of catalytic converters. So if we are using the catalytic converters, then the nitrogen oxide emission, it can be reduced. The next one is the regulation. Regulation. This regulation is for the Clean Air Act to monitor and reduce the air pollution. So, so example that we can take is the Black Forest in the Germany suffered extensive damage from the acid rain due to the nearby industries emission. This is the famous example for the acid rain. Now the precipitation, as I have told you, that precipitation, there are the forms of precipitation. What is precipitation? Actually, it is referred to the forms of water. It is solid or liquid that falls from the atmosphere to the earth's surface. The forms it includes mainly rain, drizzle, snow, slit, and hail. So these are the examples of the precipitation. So these are the main forms of precipitation. It can be ole, we can say. Sometimes it is a smoke, rainy, heavy rain, uh, small rain. So these are the types of precipitation which are coming from the earth, which are coming to the earth surface. Now this is the types of precipitation. Now here the precipitation, it can be classified on the mechanism that causes. It can the vein. First one is the conventional precipitation, organographic precipitation, and the clonic precipitation. These are the three main types of precipitation. The first, that is the conventional precipitation, in that the earth's surface is heated, causing warm, moist air to rise. As it rises, it cools and the water vapors condenses into the clouds, eventually leading to the precipitation. These types of rainfall is common in tropical areas. Okay. The next one is orographical precipitation. It occurs when the moist air is forced to rise from over a mountain range. As the air rises, it cools and condenses, leading to the precipitation on the windward side of the mountains. These rain shadow areas and remains dry. This is called as the organographic precipitation. Okay. The next one is the clonic. It is the clonic precipitation. It also known as the frontal precipitation. It occurs when the two air masses of different temperatures and densities meet. Warm air is forced to rise over the cool air, leading to the cooling and condensation of the water vapor, resulting in rainfall. So there are some examples of each precipitation. So these are the main precipitation. You should understand this. Now, the last is the thank you for the patience listening and understanding this video. So if you have go through this video, there are already posted the notes. Please solve that question. Thank you. Thank you one and all.